Hi guys, hope we're all well. It is 12:30 here on the 13th of August. Initial jobless claims later on today, so let's bear that in mind as you're watching this video. Probably worth holding out for that. Let's have a quick look over at the S&P, which has done pretty much nothing. You've got a bit of a floor. You're going to have to call this a zone now with the low of the day, with the pivot, with a bit of previous resistance that could now turn into support. It's going to be a relatively big one, 33.56 to 63, big zone on a day where things aren't really moving. It's not that exciting, unfortunately. But if that holds, we may start to see a bit of a trend line from those highs, and of course, if that then breaks, you can get that push to the upside. So that's one to bear in mind. If it breaks below 33.55. And also some of the previous interesting sort of resistance points before we broke through early morning yesterday could, of course, then act as support as well. To the upside, I mean, just putting this onto a 15-minute now, you can see obviously we are pretty range bound, but we have a solid base of support with those highs getting lower. It'd be worthwhile, in my opinion, just having 33.74 on, just in case we do get up there and you can get along above there, and that's when we could maybe push on to look at those all-time highs again. Euro has been pushing it got above that line in the sand, I like to talk about. Yesterday evening it tried, it didn't, but we did again today, and on that confirmation we came back into it to find support. So no guarantee it closes there, of course, but interesting to see it is above there now, and it's already probably hit the obvious target people would have looked at, those highs from the morning or late morning, well, not really, 8 o'clock and 2 p.m. of the 7th. Next area of interest for me, 118.72. So we see another currency pair push on as well. However, it's range bound, certainly looking at this, and we've had 2 tests at the top, 2 at the bottom. Decision time to come through surely soon for this market, but look how choppy that has been. Not too exciting, has to be said. Potential trend lines on from those lows. When previous highs break, it's messy. I mean, just looking at that pound, it's not too exciting to want to get involved. You could say below the previous high of the day, might get a bit of an unwind, but then even then your targets are just all these lows here doesn't look that promising. Moving on, I think, is the best thing to do there while looking at the pound. Gold, flat as a pancake, and when it's like that, 60-minute makes the most sense, and you're going to have to call this a zone really on the R1. The lows, I mean, it's worth probably having that on there as well before we could get back down to 1910. It's a wait for the initial jobless claims, but that hasn't done too much in recent times. So yeah, probably best to hold out. Silver, however, has had a decent sort of push, and that's got up to key level of resistance from the sort of sort of 130 of the 11th before we had that big push down. So that's hit that level now, and we're actually just sitting on yesterday's highs or confirming a break above that. So silver will want to push on, so I'll just be keeping a watch on, for me, what the next level of importance is, that low of the 7th and the morning midday on the 11th as well. So yeah, keep a watch on that. Oil, after yesterday's data, the classic up down back to where it was. Not much happened, and not much is happening today. Summer season out there, I would say for oil, which means looking at the last few days hasn't done too much. 42.94 would interest me, just below the pivot. 42.16, yes, a bit of a zone around 41.85, and then other than that 41.48, just to look for potential opportunities. But to be honest, out there it's quiet, and I think people are welcoming the cooler temperatures, certainly here in the UK. But yeah, feels a bit August summer season today.